All right, here we go. Mute Crimson Plus in pink and yellow. So let's see. The deal with this game is everything kills you in one hit. So anything that's pink or yellow is going to be dangerous to them. Can't touch any of it, any of these spikes, any of the enemies. And essentially they just need to make their way around the stages as quickly as possible. It's pretty tight platforming in a lot of spots. You have a double jump, you can climb walls, you can sort of shimmy on little pipes like this, and you can slash your sword. That's basically it. I think there's 7 worlds total and a boss at the end of each one. And they'll just be trying to run as fast as possible. Got some nice traffic ambiance in the background. Oh, and there you see your first death. Yes, currently I am driving on the freeway while commentating. So Eldra took a death there, but he was really close to the previous checkpoint. I didn't mention that, but those swords you see in the ground count as checkpoints. And as soon as you die, you go right back to him. And you'll see Terex here fighting the first boss, Squid. Terex showing off that you cannot be killed once you defeat a boss. So 3 slashes and the bosses go down. And now we're on to World 2, Act 2, whatever you want to call it, Stage 2. And the big change here is that there's some intermittent wind that'll be pushing them left or right. Ooh, Terex with a really nice climb there. And in case it wasn't clear, there are infinite lives in this game, so it's meant to be a very punishing game. You're supposed to die quite a bit. There is a mode where there are limited lives, but they're not going to play that because they're not insane. You can see the wind is pushing some of the obstacles as well. Crossover between Ninja Gaiden and Super Meat Boy. Pretty accurate. One hit death, precision platforming, and it's a ninja instead of a Meat Boy. I guess in Ninja Gaiden you kill everything in one hit too. At least in Ninja Gaiden 1. And indeed, it's very cycle based. So you can see there are a lot of timing based things, cycle based things, these fireballs firing out of these turrets on the walls. In some cases, it doesn't matter how quickly you get to those, you're just going to have to wait for them to fire before you can proceed. So you're essentially limited to that cycle, making a cycle or not. And first season speedrunner, a lot of them are fairly trivial, but there are several that are pretty hard, and then I think 1 or 2 that are extremely hard cycles that you can get early. Don't quote me on that though. Ask Baron if you want to know for sure. This is a moth who just wants to play cards with you, so I'm not sure why they're slashing him. And there goes the cards. They're already through Act 2, or at least Terrex is. He's maintaining a healthy lead, basically a 1 death lead. Now they're in World 3. I think oh, wow. I did not see what happened to Eldra there. I thought he was in a pretty safe section. But yeah, the big change in World 3 is that there are these stones that fall from the ceiling. And they have, you know, every world I think introduces a new enemy type. You know, these little eyeball guys coming at you. I don't know. What do we think? Is this the worst track in the game? I would say so, but I'm not sure. Got some agreement going on here. Most of the music in this game is super good. Oh, hearing some sevens in the chat. That might just be, you know, some trauma-related taste making right there. Yeah, I guess the World 7 does get pretty repetitive. This world goes by pretty quickly, I feel like. I don't think 3 is much of a challenge casually. So while it may look like Terrex has a commanding lead in this race, there are some extremely punishing deaths in this game. Oh, nice. Skipped the sort of left blocks over there. Terrex did. Yeah, there are some pretty punishing deaths in this game, especially as the worlds progress.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying, Fast?
I was just saying, game definitely ramps up in difficulty as it goes along.
Yeah, it's kind of really throws the gauntlet down at you starting in, I don't know, World 6 probably. And World 7's just an absolute nightmare casually. And it has decided a race between these two players before and bring them over 1. The longest sort of sub-level in the game. Here they're fighting the eye boss. Not much to him. Whatever you want to call it. Kind of just got to keep a bit of distance. But the behavior with these eyeballs is they sort of move quickly when they're far away from you, and the closer they get, the slower they move. So it might look dangerous, but it's not really very dangerous at all. So here we go, Terrex in World 4, and now Eldra just starting World 4. It's probably not a world, right? It's all the same world. Can we agree on some terminology here? Tell me what to do. I don't know what I'm doing here.
I'll defer to Baron on this one.
Stage? Yeah, we'll go with stage. Sure. Technology theme stage introduces the lasers, which are one of the biggest sort of cycles to hit throughout the rest of the game here. Ooh, Eldra with the saucy little getting up to the wall. Sort of being like mid-cycle there. Oh, I can't wait for spin. Great stage, or great level. Terrex taking it kind of safe here with the magician fireball laser combo area. It's a bit tricky, and it's not very fun to have to delay there. Can end up getting kind of cornered by the fireball and magician combo. Obviously, snakes are magicians. Come on, Baron. Why do you think they hired me to commentate this? My going rate is you have to get me out of one kid's birthday party if you want me to commentate for your race. Terrex is just cruising. I don't think he's taken to death yet. I think Eldra's on maybe 3rd or 4th death now.
He really wants to erase that yellow PB.
Yeah, he needs to get rid of that. I think it was just barely a sub 40, wasn't it? 39.59 or something like that. Got in just under the wire.
Your memory's better than mine.
Well, I kind of cheated. I think I looked back just before commentating this to make sure I wouldn't forget stuff.
That is professional.
Gotta know the lore. Who's won what? What colors have we seen before? I think yellow's the first repeat. We've also seen purple and orange. Perhaps bring them over 4 will spice it up a little bit. Thank you, Pro Infernate, for the confirmation. And Chelny, Terrex making quick work of the boss. Must be thinking about what channel I'm watching, not who's playing. Oh. Terrex takes a death there. This room is really fun to do, no stop. Pretty hard to do. Looks like he's going for it. Oh, he had to bail. I think that was the right choice. You have to plan your jumps pretty carefully to get through there, no stop. And Eldra is done with stage 4, chapter 4, world 4. So if you haven't noticed just by watching the gameplay, there are these little arrows on the screen that sort of act like wind, essentially, in terms of how the physics work. But they might give you double speed in one direction and sort of half speed in the opposite direction. Or they might bring your speed back to normal. Or they might get you in super low gravity. Eldra dealing with those tricky mid-air jumps quite nicely. Let's see if Terex keeps iFriend alive. Oh, wow. Really? Why you gotta do him like that? Come on, Eldra. There we go. There you go. Bring him along. He's your friend. Oh, he's getting pretty close. Too friendly. Oh. It was worth it. Bringing him back. Oh, and I think that's one aspect of this game that's a little bit subtle if you haven't played it. The cycles are not going to be in the same place if you respawn on any given screen of the game. They may be lined up in a way that's good for you or worse for you, but it won't be the same as if you had just started completely from the beginning of the screen. So that's why he ended up getting shot by those turrets there. I think. It didn't look like he made enough movement mistakes there. Yeah, Terex is really just cruising through this. Fighting the definitely a squid boss, number 2. And very nice boss kill. That boss is trickier than it looks. Eldra just collected a bonus coin there. Sort of just some bonus content. Usually they're in a out of the way place or in a hard spot to reach. Oh, my dog's shaking himself next to me. All right. Terex making his way through World 6 here. It's always going to look a bit blurry on screen. There's a lot of movement in the background at all times. Oh, I did send Tommy to the birthday party. He came back already with cake. That's how you know he's a good boy. So World 6, you have these portals that take you pretty much instantly to another location. Can be a little bit jarring if you're not sure where it's taking you. Usually you can see where the exit portal is. Yeah, the terminology for the stage thing is just, it's not going to get better, so just buckle in and deal with it. I mean, these look like they exist in the same world? I don't know. Terex having a little bit of trouble with this spot here. Ooh. I think that's 3 in a row there that he's been walled. Oh. This jump is just, it's getting him. There he goes. And that is exactly what playing this game casually is like. Except just multiply it by like 30. And there you go. And the little keys that they're gathering here are to open their way out of the screen, essentially. And every time you land on a key, it refreshes your mid-air jump. Yeah, if you're familiar with platformers, a blind race of this game might take 3 or 4 hours. I guess it really depends. You can really easily get yourself into a cycle of just doing kind of stupid deaths or not really focusing and struggling. So 4.5 hours. Sounds right. So Terex is going to go through a little skip there, easy peasy. He skipped that whole upper section there, getting that key with that little double jump. It's easy not to see that casually, but once you know it's there, it's really trivial to do. And Terex is on sort of auto scroller right now. There's some rising lava from the bottom that'll kill you if you take too long. That shouldn't come into play at all for either of these players. Let's see if Eldra gets a skip. Yep. So despite Terex struggling with that one section, he's still in good shape. None of those deaths really cost too much time. It's pretty quick to get back to there and retry that jump. Now Terex fighting Demon Lord. or something. It's definitely like a demon, you know, mid-manager at best, or at worst. Alright, his name is Demon Lord, okay? I was just, you know, trying to make myself more relatable by sounding like I didn't know his name. Getting blown up here. Oh man. Serious commentary. What's happening? Running from the demon dude. And Terex finishes up the fight. See, this fight takes quite a while. I think they're both in the fight for maybe a good third of it. Even though Terex has something like a minute plus lead. I'm not quite sure how long exactly. But now World 7's here. And the aforementioned difficulty spikes. This is one of the biggest ones for sure. Not easy casually, not easy to speedrun. A lot of tight jumps, a lot of basically every gimmick the game has is going to be thrown at you here. There are a few stages where there's some kind of, or a few, sub-levels that have diverging paths, and it doesn't really matter which one they choose to take in most cases. Just finishing up the boss fight. Pure demon? No way. No one believes that. Terek's not going for the skip on the falling stone section here. Fresh squeezed demon. Despite the considerable difficulty, oh no, well, I'm not going to talk about how they're doing. Should have learned my lesson the first time I commented this race. Let's go Eldravator. Easy. I think Terex got that as well. Sort of a cycle skip on the elevator section. And Terex taking a, you know, basic death, just trying to get past the lasers as early as possible. Easy to do. I think the trick would be to just not let it snowball, and then it'll be fine. I think at this rate, it's looking like a good idea that they did not choose to turn on arcade mode. That would just be adding unnecessary risk. Arcade mode is the limited live mode where you get something like, I don't know, 9 lives through the course of it, something like that. Yeah, I think you get an extra level per world you beat. Oh. So Eldra and Terex are both having their share of deaths in World 7 so far. Not too surprised. I don't think either of them are super active in speedrunning this game. That might be a bit of an understatement, but they're both doing exceptionally well, despite not keeping up with the game. Spin to win. Oh, that was a very nice adjustment there by Terex to avoid what would have been a sure death. And another good decision there. I think he's behind the usual cycle here, so his jumps between these platforms are going to have to be a little bit different. Dealt with that just fine. Oh, wow. Wow. That's definitely a bit sketchy throughout. I thought Terex might have had that. And as you can see there, the cycles are a bit different. Respawning. Just wasn't quite quick enough to make it out of those. And you can see how costly deaths are in some of these longer stages. Eldra is very close to being caught up now. Well, why? Saying words shouldn't do that. And Terex is dancing. Oh, he found the cycle where they converge. And it looks like Eldra also got there just behind that easy cycle. There it is again. So Eldra made up some considerable ground in spin. It's a pretty notorious stage. And sort of, well, what's not so obvious about these levels at first glance is that there's no one single section that's difficult. It's just sort of long stretches of uninterrupted gameplay, no checkpoints, and one small mistake, and you're back to start. And you lost something like 30 seconds, minute at the end of this stage, or this level. I hate lasers. I think I'll agree with Baron's assessment that stage 7 it needs a longer track. You do spend a ton of time here. Song sort of starts to just burrow into your skull as you bang your head against the wall trying to just barely squeak by some of these obstacles. So this particular stage, I hate lasers. It has 0 checkpoints. Terrex is on the final stretch here. He is home free. Oh, and Eldra just shorts that jump a bit. And that's something like I don't know, a 40-second death maybe. It's long. And it feels really long getting back to there. Tedious. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Agreed. And I'll definitely agree with that fast. 7's not great to my ears, but 3 is just a sleeper. What act is this? We're calling them worlds, I think. I'm just kidding. They're in Act 7 of 7. Stage World 7. This is indeed the infamous 7. And it looks like Eldra has escaped from one of the worst 7 levels here. And Terrex is on his way to the final boss. The wall. And it's sort of an auto-scroller. It's a semi-auto-scroller. You got some auto-scroller sections, and then the boss will stop and be vulnerable. Kind of spit out some stuff at you. Terrex just playing it fast and loose with his footing here. Very nice. I think this is not possible for Terrex to PB here. And GG to Terrex with a time of something. 40.04, 40.05. Very close to his bring him over 1 race time. Yeah, but despite all the sort of maybe some semi-negative things that have been said about the experience of this game, it really is a very good game. And there's a reason why it's been featured in all of the Bring 'em Over marathons. Always an exciting watch too. You never know what section is gonna hang a runner up on any given race. Oh, Eldra in a bad spot here, and he manages it just fine. Nice improvisation there. On to the last section. Oh, oh my god. GG. Oh, he almost ran into him too. GG, Eldra. That was terrifying. Great race, racers.